Trujillo, world's greatest living artist. I'm here in my studio. I'm here in front of my easel. And let's make this happen. All right, let's make this happen. Now, for those of you who are artists, I'm going to be sharing some of the stuff here. Those of you who are not artists, I'm also going to be sharing some really cool stuff. So stay tuned. Stay Looney Tunes. All right. I just got to clean my palette. It's very messy. I got to clean it up. So this is walnut oil. As you can see, this is some walnut oil. It gets super, super, super messy, and it's okay because that's the business of oil paint. The business of oil paint is to get messy. All right. So I don't want it squeaky clean because it's like I don't need to, but I do want it somewhat clean. There it is. All right. You ready? Mucho bueno. Let's get ready for this. Let's get ready to rumble. Let's get ready to rumble, baby. I'm gonna start out with a little painting here. This is going to be a little marsh. Let's get started. Boom, baby, boom. All right, there it is. Let's get this little baby going. And so I'm gonna start out by just drawing it a little bit. That's all I want to do. I really just want to draw it. That's how I want to get it started. I want to draw it. It doesn't really matter what color you use. You can use blue, red, whatever works for you, right? Whatever works for you. And this is all I just want to start doing. Just, a little bit of color right here. Look. Boom. And then that's it. And then I can either hit for this one or get a brush. I think I'm gonna use the brush. I've been using palette knife quite a little bit. I'm gonna get a brush. And the trick is to savor every brush stroke. Look, that's the trick. You can't really do anything wrong if you're savoring every brush stroke. This is something that I learned throughout my career, is you can never go wrong. You can always go wrong when you're trying to meet some sort of expectation. That's very easy to go wrong. But if you savor every brushstroke, you really can't go wrong with it. The painting is actually about that. Every painting is about savoring every brushstroke. And then you move, right? You move. I come down here, and I'm savoring that part. Put a little bit of paint. And I'm not really trying to meet anything. I'm in the back of my mind, I know this is a marshland. Little landscape. In the back of my mind, it's there. But all my attention isn't enjoying every brushstroke. That's really what my attention is. My attention is always in enjoying the brushstroke. And this is how I can liberate myself from the judgments of the painting, and thus be able to create the painting as it's needed, right? It's needed. I'm trying to savor everything. And then I turn my brush and then I play a little bit with it. And nothing is serious. Nothing is serious. Nothing is serious in the painting. I don't allow anything to be serious. Nothing too serious, right? Because then I can't paint. If it's too serious, I can't paint. Now I'm thinking about all the other possible things that could go wrong, and then at that point you can't paint. So I'm not focused on the painting, I'm focused on painting only. My focus 90% of my focus is not on the painting itself, it's on the act of painting. It's on the act of painting. It's playing with color. And yeah, in the back of my mind, again, there is something going on here. There's a marshland. There's something going on, but I'm not invested in it. I'm not invested. I'm going to let it come forward as it needs to, and I'm going to act as an agent for it. But I'm not going to try to dictate what it's going to look like exactly, because that's not my business. My business is to be a vehicle for this painting to arrive. That's really my business. And so painting from that perspective really allows me to have full freedom, and really be able to really be able to be creative. You know, in the freedom is where you are able to be creative in the freedom of the painting. And you're trying to control the painting, you won't even have an inch of creativity. You won't even have an ounce or an inch of creativity. It's impossible. It's very unlikely to be creative when you're trying to control a painting. So I give up on trying to control it. And that's my job as an artist, is just constantly giving up to trying to control the painting. Constantly giving up. I'm gonna give up as much as possible. I don't want to. The thinker in me, the ego in me, wants to be able to control every brushstroke and control. What keeps popping up in my mind is, how do you control that? How do you control that? And it is my job to constantly throughout every brushstroke remind myself to surrender, and leave the painting alone. Leave the painting alone. Just paint it. Don't judge it. Leave it alone. Let the painting be. And it's the only place where I find peace, when I'm leaving the painting alone. If it makes any sense to anyone. And again, not think much about the painting. Don't give it so much. Don't give it so much thought. Give it attention, but not thought. I'll do the same thing here. In this floral piece, it's a floral. I'll do the same thing here. I'm gonna get some paint, some color, and I'm just going to act as an agent of the painting. I'm not here to judge it. I'm not here to do anything to it other than allow it to come forward. That's my job. I'll let the critics criticize it. That's not my job. See, oftentimes as artists, this is what we find ourselves doing. We act as both creators and critics, and it's a very tough job. It's a very tough job to be wearing both hats at the same time. Be one. If you're gonna be the critic, it's okay. Be the critic, but don't claim to be the creator too. The creator too. It's impossible. A creator does not judge. A creator just creates, and that's it. There's a little piece underneath the cardboard, just in case the camera. There's that. And you see, that's all. That is all, folks. Look at that. Look at that. Thank you so much, Gabriela. I really appreciate that. And then, I move a little bit. I move a little bit. And I play with the angles of the brush. I'm always moving, but I'm moving in a simple way. The thickness and the angles of the same brush. I'm not switching brushes over and over. Just because it doesn't work for me. There's nothing wrong with that if that's how you work. But it doesn't really work for me to constantly be switching brushes. I usually stick around with the same brush or the same palette knife throughout the entire painting. And I find ways to utilize every angle of it, right? Or the whole, just different things that you can do with a brush. And so again, I my intention is to make the painting, not to judge it. I am always tempted to judge it, but I mean, tell me a good relationship that came out of judgment. You can't even have a friendship if there's judgment in there. You know. Imagine how a friend would react if all you did to them was tell them, "Are you gonna eat that again? That dress doesn't look good on you," or "I told you not to be dating people like that," or you know, or "You always do that," or shit like that. Like imagine a relationship like that. It'd be a very hurtful, horrible relationship. And yet we do that with our paintings, and we do that with ourselves. And so, what I'm trying to illustrate here is, don't do that. You don't need to. You don't need to. You can. There is another way. There's another way to go about it. You don't need to. If you're doing it, it's fine. Maybe you need to go through it, but there's another way. There is another way, and the other way is to find the joy in painting, not the painting, in painting itself only. Find the joy in the act of creating the work, and then the painting comes out of that. The painting, the actual image comes out of that. But if you're constantly looking to get rewarded through the finished product, it's going to be painful. You know, almost no artist gets rewarded with the finished product. Very rare. Very few artists do, and in very rare occasions. And then it's fleeting. It goes away. It's so nasty. It goes away so fast. You like something today, and then tomorrow you don't like it. So if you already know that it's so fleeting, why chase it? It's a bad drug. Acceptance is a better way. Maybe you don't like the way the painting came out. It's okay. It's all right. Did you enjoy while you were painting it? Yes. Did you enjoy your brushstroke? Yes. That's all that matters. Because I promise you this, that is what the buyer, the viewer, is looking at. The viewer is not looking at what you're looking at. You're looking at all the wrong things. You're looking at composition, brushstroke, and this and that. That's not what the viewer is looking at. The viewer is looking at your level, your frequency, your peace in the painting, your acceptance in the painting. The viewer is looking at the deeper stuff. That's what the viewer is looking at. Gabriela says, I would love if you could post these videos on your permanent feed. You know what? I think I need to do that. I think I need to do that. I need to start doing that because um, my permanent feed usually just has photographs, right? And um, I end up using I end up using these videos just for my live or my YouTube channel, and so a lot of people are not being able to watch that, right? To enjoy that. Here, I'm gonna do another one since I'm feeling super happy with this one. Absolutely will. And so people ask me, how is it that you're able to paint so many paintings or so quick or this or that? And the key really is, um, I, I I discovered early on in my career that the key to being a prolific artist is to have full acceptance of what you're doing. I remember watching a video where Picasso was painting. I think he was painting a bull uh, on plexiglass with white paint, and it was super modern for the time. And I saw the way he was painting it, and the way he was painting it reminded me of a dancer, a dancer with just lots of experience, a highly experienced dancer who wasn't minding anything but just enjoying every move. It was almost like this joy in every move, and in that you can paint the world. You know, you can paint anything. You can paint a cityscape, the Statue of Liberty. You can paint anything with that energy. It doesn't mean that it's all going to be this super realistic thing or super hyper realistic or clever little paintings. No, it means that you are allowed, you have permission from your soul to be the greatest artist you can be. And Picasso understood that. That bastard understood that. And I believe that that is why he got to the heights he got. Because he understood that he had permission. And a lot of us are looking for permission, and he wasn't looking for permission, he had it. He understood that at a very early age. You can see it in his works. Lots of his works, he wasn't fighting them. One of my favorite quotes by him is, when I don't have one color, I'll use another one. I think he was talking about red and blue. Because he wasn't fighting the colors. He wasn't fighting the technique. He wasn't fighting anything. He was just, I'm just going to do. Another person that wasn't fighting that I admire highly was Warhol. Warhol was not fighting. A lot of artists fight what they're doing. I know because I've been there myself and I've done it for many years. I fought what I'm doing. And Warhol was not fighting. And that is a superpower. As a matter of fact, when Warhol met Basquiat, his first comment when he saw him create a painting, he said, he's faster than me. He appreciated people that painted fast. Not fast as in like speed painting and crazy. No, he was talking about he's not attached to the paintings. He's even less attached to the paintings than I am. That was Basquiat's superpower. He wasn't attached to the paintings. He was attached to painting, just like Picasso. Picasso was attached to painting, not the painting. Not the painting. And so that gives them a tremendous advantage over the rest of us. Because they're not like little kids. Look at my painting. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think of my painting? They're not acting that way. They're not acting that way. 99% of artists, we do that. We're like, what do you think of my painting? Can you criticize it? What do you think? No. Don't put yourself in such a vulnerable position where you have no say and no strength over your artwork. Let it be ugly, but enjoy it. Be fully be fully with it. If you had a child and the child didn't come to this world in the conventional way, a challenge or they express themselves differently, whatever, right? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Would you be asking people to recognize your child? What do you think? What do you think of my child? What do you think? Of course not. Of course not. It's yours. Bottom line, it's done. It's here. Honor it. You don't need to be asking people around what do you think about my work? No, you don't need any of that. You don't need to ask anybody. You were born with the permission to create artwork, and many of us don't take that permission. You don't need to ask anyone for permission. All you need to do is fully accept what you're doing and how you do it, and don't try to change it. Growth is going to come by itself, by simply practice. But you don't even need to seek for it. You don't need to seek it. You don't need to seek growth. Growth will come to you. Growth, it has a funny thing. Every time you're comfortable, it shows up. It shows up and shakes you a little bit. So you don't even need to seek it. Growth is like fucking Batman. It comes when you least expect it, and it leaves you when you least expect it, right? It's just the way it is. Everything's going fine in your life, and then all of a sudden, growth comes, right? And it shakes you. And it shakes you, and it makes you understand again to be flexible, to be nimble, to be okay, to not feel like you need to control anything. You don't need to control anything. I love that. Stonic says, let's hit that hard. God, body is dropping knowledge. I love that, man. Thanks. But the bottom line is that's what it is. We as artists, or anyone, right? We're all artists in a way. We're all artists in a way. Anyone that does anything with quality is an artist. Whatever you do, whatever your work is, whatever that you do, if you do it with quality, you're an artist. But many artists are not really artists. Many artists who put paint on canvas or whatever, they're not really artists. And the reason why I say they're not artists is because they're not doing it with quality. Quality means that you give it attention, and attention means that you are forgiving yourself every step of the way. You forgive yourself, so you're able to forgive others, right? You're able to forgive the painting. You forgive yourself. You say, "Oh, okay, yeah, I don't have to call myself anything. I don't have to say, oh man, that was dumb. Oh, that was stupid. Oh, I should have painted it this way. Why is my painting not coming out the way I want it?" You don't have to do any of that. The only thing you can do, and this will carry you to heights you didn't even believe were possible, is fully paint in acceptance. Your hand doesn't have to shake. You don't have to feel like you're doing anything wrong. The mere fact that you're throwing paint on a canvas already puts you way high up. Yeah, the path of least resistance, Gabriela, that's really what it is. In anything that you do, the vortex, right? In anything that you do, the path of least resistance. It is so easy to blame things. It is so easy to say, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough anything. I don't have enough materials. It's so easy to blame everything. But the reality is that when people are about to buy your work or they see it, they're not seeing anything of the lack that you're seeing. Sadly, you know, I say sadly because sadly for us, right? They're not seeing any of the lack that you're seeing. They're looking at it with different eyes. I don't know if it's happened to any of the artists watching this, but have you ever sold something that you're like, oh my God, why in the hell did they buy that? That's my ugliest painting. If you've been at this for a while, you know that happens more often than not. As a matter of fact, you end up selling more of the work that you don't like than the work that you actually do like. Because, because, as Shakespeare said, right, there's no good or bad, but thinking makes it so. There is no good or bad. You're sucked into your own thinking and how you feel about your artwork. You know, how you feel about your artwork. It's really the what ends up breaking you as an artist. And so what I tell people all the time is stop having feelings about your artwork. I know this because I've experienced very low lows. And the practice of it, how I got out of it, is by stop focusing on the damn fucking thing. It's not going to give you anything. Focus on your hand. Focus on your heartbeat. Focus on you, not it. You're trying to grab yourself through it, and you can't. It's impossible. Are you able to get it, my friend? Huh? Are you able to capture it? It's impossible to capture yourself on a painting. You never will. And whatever you paint today, you're gonna hate tomorrow. How many artists said, "Yeah, that was my old work," but why were you crying about it then a year ago? That it wasn't good enough or whatever. If now it's just your old work, right? It's sort of like relationships, you have that relationship that you're like, oh my God, I can't live without that person, and then you grow up, years go by, and then you're like, oh my God, that was like the worst person I've ever been with. And you look back and you're like, well, why were you crying about it? Why did it hurt so much? If now you have this idea that it was the worst person you've ever been with, why were you so attached to it? And I believe the reason why we do these things in life is because we pigeonhole ourselves. We're trying to find ourselves in the object, right? In the other person, in the subject. We're trying to find ourselves in the subject. And this is what painting is. Sadly, this is what painting is. The artist is trying to find himself, herself, themselves. They're trying to find themselves in the painting. And it doesn't work that way. You'll never find yourself in the painting. You're only going to find pain. As the Buddha used to say, dukkha. No matter where you go, it's always going to follow you. You're only going to find pain in the painting. The painting has no liberation. But 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 painting does. Painting does, not the painting. Painting has lots of liberation. Right? The act of painting does. Because you can choose to paint in a state of acceptance and surrender. You can choose that. Regardless of what the painting looks like, you can do that. You can choose to allow the painting to exist without the interpretation of your bullshit. Right? The painting can exist. You give it space, just like a good relationship. Right? A good relationship, give it space and see what happens. Real space, not I'll see you in a month. No, real space. Real space means I allow you to be the way that you are, and I will pass no judgment on you. That's real space. Real space is I'm here, but it's almost like if I'm not here. mentally. I'm only here physically. Real space is what a dog gives you. A dog gives you real space. And this is why people love pets, no? They love animals because they render real space. A good artist makes a good painting, a good picture. A real artist creates space. A real good artist, a great artist creates space. Everybody's looking for space. The world is very crowded with noise, starting with the noise in our minds. And so the painting allows space. And if the artist creates the painting from space, the viewer receives that. The viewer can see that. They can sense that. They can sense that. This is why we enjoy some people and we can't be around others. Because we sense, I don't like being around that person because every time I'm around that person, they always tell me something. It's little stuff, you know. They always tell me a little something. I don't know. Like when you were a kid and you had that parent that was like, tuck your shirt, tie your shoes. You know, they're always reminding me that I'm just not fucking good enough. You know, that I just don't make the cut. They're always reminding me that, you know, as a kid, parents, we're so horrible, right? We do that. We don't mean to. We're raised that way, and then we do it to our kids. And we're always reminding them that they don't measure up. You're not good enough. We don't say it in those words. We say it in different words. You know, you didn't wake up early enough. You didn't throw away the trash. What's going on with you? How come you didn't do your homework? What the hell is going on? You know, you're not good enough. You're not good enough. It's never an empowering relationship. Almost never an empowering relationship. It's always a reminder. Or relationships, right? Well, why do you always do that? Why do you always say that? You know, if I had $1 every time I heard you say that, or blah blah blah, it's like it's a constant reminder that the person's not good enough. Why in the hell would they want to be around you if you're always reminding them that they're not good enough? Who wants that? Not even a dog wants that. And they're faithful as fuck. You know? It's the same thing with a painting. It's no different. It's the same thing. Why would you want to paint if you hate painting? I came to this realization not long ago. Why would you want to paint if you hate painting? You don't really hate painting. You hate the painting. So when you switch to the painting, from the painting to painting, you love painting, and thus good stuff start happening in your life. You start accepting the things that come to your way because you switch over from the physical, right? From trying to find yourself in the painting to, you know what? I just love painting. When people ask me, like, how do you do so many paintings? I love painting. Oh my God, but you know, like that, like the other stuff, like how do you know what to paint? Or I don't know what to paint. Half of the time, I'm not half of the time. I'm lying. 99% of the time, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. 99% of the time, I have no idea what I'm winging it because I don't care. I love it. It's painting is what I love. You know, it's painting. The act of painting is what I love, and I had to rediscover that because in the beginning, I knew that, and then I lost it. And like the son, the prodigal, what is it? The prodigal son has to come back to the father. It's the same way. I had to come back to loving painting again, not the painting. Every time I try to love the painting, I got my ass kicked. Every single time I tried to love the painting, I got my ass kicked. There was always something I didn't like about it, and so after years and years of misery, because it literally happened, it felt like misery of trying to find myself as an artist. Did I paint this good? Was it well painted? Did I use the right colors? And on and on. One day I just finally understood, dude, you're barking at the wrong tree. And, and it's my belief that most artists are doing that. They're barking at the wrong tree. You're barking at the wrong tree. You should be focusing, have all your focus out of the painting. Your focus shouldn't be the painting. Just like in a relationship, your focus shouldn't be the way the other person gives you, what the person gives you. In a relationship, your entire focus should be on giving, right? On giving. What can I give? Not so that I can receive. The moment that you switch that bullshit from what can I receive to what can I give? Just what can I give to this person right now? Not if I give this, I'm going to receive that. No, what can I give right now? If you switch to that, see, people suffer when they say, "Man, I'm always giving," and people suffer, and people say, "Oh my God, I always have such a hard time with relationships because I'm always giving, and then I never get back." It's because you're not really giving, you're exchanging. I learned this through painting. Man, I'm always painting, and my paintings suck, or this, or that, or people don't want to pay for them, and I used to have all this running commentary, and then I finally understood. I finally understood after so much pain. I was like, you know what? I think I know what's going on here. But I'm talking about a shitload of pain, emotional pain. I think I know what's going on here. I'm trying to exchange. I'm not giving. I'm trying to exchange. I'm trying to exchange a painting for money. I'm trying to exchange a painting for attention. I'm trying to exchange. I'm not giving. Exchanging is not giving. Transacting is not giving. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all about transacting. I love making a living as an artist, but that doesn't necessarily mean that is giving. Giving is giving. Period. End of story. Nothing added to it. And when you paint, if you're not giving, you're not painting. Giving is doing a brushstroke and not expecting that the brushstroke is okay or good or anything, or that you're going to like it. Thanks. That's that's what giving is. Giving is making a painting and not expect it to please you or to tickle you the right way. You don't expect anything back. That's when you're giving. And then people will ask you, how do you paint so much? I Because I love painting. That's all. I love painting. I would paint all day if I could. I can't run my studio if I'm painting all day, but I try to paint as much as possible because I'm not expecting anything in return. Now, pragmatically, right, in in a in a different way, of course, I am expecting something. I'm expecting to make a living, and in the form, right, in the pragmatic sense, of course. But I don't think about it because if I do, I go down a spiral. I go down the spiral, and then I'm no longer giving. I really hope more artists realize this in their career. This took me years to understand, and a lot of emotional pain, really, to really understand this to the core, where I can paint and be okay with what I'm painting, and I can work at peace and and feel like I, I don't I don't need to be tickled. It's okay. It's okay if the painting doesn't come out the way I want it to because I don't have a way that I want it to come out. I don't have a way. I don't need it. The silver lining is that I get to paint. I get to paint for a living, and that's the silver lining. And again, it took me a long time to realize that. So, as artists, I hope that this makes any sense to you out there, and I hope that when you go back to your studio and you're painting, you do it from, if you're not doing it already, I'm sure many of you are, or maybe it happens in segments and then you kind of forget about it, and you have to remind yourself all over again why you're doing it. You have to fall in love with it again, right? When you fall in love with something, it's because there's no judgment. That's what falling in love is. You notice you always fall in love with when you were growing up, or you're dating, you fall in love with people you don't know anything about, right? You don't fall in love normally with people you know everything about. You fall in love with you fall in love because you know nothing of the person. That's why you fall in love. You know nothing. That's what falling in love is. Falling in love is experiencing the bliss of not having judgment on something. You're dating someone for 5, 7 years, and all of a sudden there's so much history, right? You know so much about them. They tell the same fucking jokes, and you're like, oh my god, you gotta tell the same joke again? Oh, here we go, right? that's not that's not falling in love. There's history already. There's fights. There's disagreements. There's already history. So you can't fall in love with something you already know. In order to fall in love with something you already know, you have to not know it again. You have to not know it again all over. And it's very simple to do. You stop focusing on it. Mentally focusing on it. And you only be with it. You be with it. You don't focus mentally on it. The greatest gift you can give to a person or a painting is to leave it the fuck alone. That's the greatest gift you can give anything or anyone. It's to leave them alone. And consequently, it's the same. It's the greatest gift you can give to yourself. When you're painting, leave the fucking painting alone. Let it be. Let it rise the way it's supposed to be. Let it come forward the way it's supposed to be. Leave it alone. Paint it. Your only job is to paint it, not to judge it. Leave it alone. And then if you're lucky, and if the stars are aligned, it'll surprise you and it'll give you a beautiful image to savor. But don't look for the image. Don't look for it anyways. You don't need it. So this is how I go about my days, guys. This is the kind of stuff that I share with you as an artist. This is what you'll find in my YouTubes, along with marketing and selling strategies and all kinds of fun stuff. But it's mainly this. It's mainly this. It's mainly understanding that everything's already well. It's mainly understanding that everything's already well, and it doesn't need much of your input. As a matter of fact, the more input you try to put in there, the more you mess it up. Everything is already perfect. In a very strange way, it's almost like it doesn't need you. A painting, this is something that I've discovered, a painting needs an artist about 5% of the way only. That's how much a painting needs you. A painting needs an artist about 5%. The painting can figure itself out, to put it in those words. And so the artist thinks, because of our big ass egos, that the painting needs us all the way. But the painting doesn't really need you. The painting is fine without you. What the painting needs from you is space. And most of us think that the painting needs us, right? Oh my God, what did I do here? Oh my God. So we think that the painting needs us, but the painting doesn't need you. The painting needs you to chill, to chill a little bit and let it be. That's really what the painting needs from you. You know, Bruston asks, when are you releasing your audiobook? You know what? I think I'm gonna compile a bunch of my best YouTube moments, and I think that's what the audiobook is gonna be. I'm still working on one. I was supposed to be done with it, but I kind of lagged on that. I slacked on it, and and yeah, my attention got elsewhere. But I want to get back to it. I want to work on it, and hopefully release it anytime soon. My idea is to have a tool belt for artists about the artistic process. Not paint. You can go and learn painting anywhere. I know some people like the way I paint, but a lot of people don't. Sometimes I don't even like the way I paint. This is what I'm talking about. Um, but I do love painting, right? uh, what I want to do is create a tool belt for artists to have, so that you're armed with something that matters. You're armed with something that matters, because along the way, what's going to carry you is not the way you paint. It's how you feel about the way you paint. That's really what's going to carry you. And if you don't have that foundation, it might get rocky. It might get very, very difficult along the way. I know, because I've experienced that. And you might be doing well. You might be selling your paintings, and but this doesn't mean that you might be in a constant state of self self hate. I know I've talked to some artists, and they're like, man, I hate everything I create, and I'm like, oh, I hear you. I know, I've been there. Again, it's because you're trying to get tickled by your own paintings, and your paintings can't do that, man. Only you can do that. Your paintings can't tickle you. They can't make you feel butterflies all the time. If you're looking to find yourself in the painting, you're gonna lose the game. It's like a good salesperson. I remember reading about salespeople when I was younger, and and they always said, never rely on the sale. You're always gonna suffer if you're relying on the sale. Never rely on the sale. Make it a game. Talk to as many people, get as many prospects, but never rely on the sell, because if you rely on the sell, you're gonna lose. It's gonna make you suffer. Don't put your eggs in that basket. Don't put your eggs in that basket. You're gonna lose. Go after it, but don't rely on it. Right? It's like painting. Look, I'm painting, but I'm not relying on my happiness. It's not relying on how well I paint. I can't. I played that game and I've lost, and it's painful. How's it going, Rachel? Good to see you. And so there's no right or wrong way of painting it, right? It's just, you either paint it or you don't paint it. And you can add all the other bells and whistles if you want, but they're gonna make you feel bad. You can add the bells and whistles, like, oh, the tonality, oh, the composition. Oh, you can add all of that if you want to, but at your own risk. Some of the uh, unhappiest artists I've met have a running commentary of their work all day. They have a running commentary about their work all day. They're always thinking about how they're going to paint. I promise you, don't do that. That's very painful. Don't do that. You're much more effective if you just go to the studio or to your easel and just begin painting and not really think about what you're going to paint or how you're going to paint it. Get an image, get a reference photo, whatever. Draw something and go bananas. Go at it. But don't don't try to act like Mr. Beautiful Mind, thinking about this shit all day because you're going to go bananas. And it depletes you from your energy and you get nothing out of it. It depletes you. It kills your energy. And not to mention, other people are not going to want to hang out with you either. Nobody likes someone who spends all their time in their mind. You know, we usually call those people assholes, right? Because they're self-absorbed. They're in their own mind. I've earned my title as an asshole multiple times in my life, thousands of times. Millions, I don't know. I don't know if millions, but definitely thousands of times. Because you get self-absorbed, right? All you're thinking is about you, my problems, my thing, my paintings, my, right? We're like those. Where have I seen that? Was it Finding Nemo when they're like mine? Yeah, I think it was the seagulls or something. The funny thing is that if you leave it alone, the fucking painting paints itself, man. It doesn't even need you. It doesn't even need you. That's what's so funny about this. It doesn't need you. It doesn't need your constant helicopter relationship with it. It's almost like it's just asking for your presence. That's all it's really asking for. It's asking for your presence. It's like a little child, saying, are you here yet? Or are you still looking at your phone? Are you here yet? Or are you still, are you here? Are you here yet? When are you gonna come home? That's what the painting is really asking. When are you coming home? When are you dropping your expectation of me and come back home? Every artist needs to come back home. Every artist needs to come back home. All right. All right, Rachel, don't feel awkward. It's part of it. No, we need to go through it, right? We need to be thinking about how we're gonna paint something, and if we do that enough, at some point we start kind of leaving it alone, right? We start kind of just basically just painting it and moving on, right? At some point. I've noticed in my career that if I'm just not constantly looking at it, I get to enjoy it for a little bit. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna get back to doing some more painting, and I gotta go get some money. I gotta go sell some stuff. So, yeah. Which reminds me, if you guys found anything of what I talked about, thank you so much. If you found anything that I talked about useful, and helpful, I just want to remind you, I do coaching for artists. I do one-on-one coaching, and right now I was doing 5 spots, but now 3 are taken. I got 2 left. No, the third, I don't know, the third one's on the fence. So maybe I still got three spots open. Usually, the coaching is $9.95. It's $995, where I show you how I went to 100K in a single year. Okay, and I help you as much as possible. Uh, it's 1 hour of coaching plus a strategy call. A strategy plan, a step-by-step strategy to 100K. I can't promise you that I'm going to help you make 100K, but I can promise you that I'm going to show you how I did it. The reason why I can promise that is because I don't know how bad you want it. You know, I don't know how bad you want it. I don't know how important it is to you. I can't even promise that you're going to make a single dollar. That's just the way it is. Liabilities and whatnot, right? But I can promise you that I'm going to be an open fucking book for you. And I'm going to tell you every single thing that I've done in order to generate 100K in various ways. Right? I've earned 100K selling online. I've earned 100K a year, right? Selling commissions, interior designers, you name it, in different ways. And I still do that today. And the coaching costs $995 with a strategy plan, but because I've only let 5 people in, it's $400. Okay, 400. It's a one-on-one. It's $400 a person, and people are loving them. People are very enthusiastic and learning about it and applying it, which is the most important thing. So it's not one of those here, let's talk and let's hold hands bullshit. No, it's hands on. Roll up your sleeves, put your working pants on, and let's get this shit done. That's what my coaching calls are about. And so if it interests you in any way, let me know. DM me if you want to find out more about it. It's also 100% money back guaranteed. So I'm a no bullshit type of artist. If you don't feel like I helped you, I don't want your money. I'll send it right back to you. And we keep our friendship. There needs to be no sadness around it. We don't need any of that. If you just feel like, man, I love you, dude, but you just didn't help me, or I don't love you, F you, get out of here, and you didn't help me, either way, you still get your money back right away. So that is my promise to you. I don't want to keep your money if I didn't help you. I don't think it's right. I just don't. No matter what I do, it goes the same with my paintings. If you felt like you got cheated with one of my paintings, you didn't like it, whatever, I need you to send that baby right back, and I'll send you your money ASAP. So take care, guys. Again, my name's Jose Trujillo. I'm an artist. Those of you who don't know, this is my studio. And yeah, baby, let's get to it. All right? I'm going to beautiful face activate now. Boom, beautiful face. All right, guys, take care. I'll talk to you soon. And be awesome. All right? Keep working. Keep doing your thing. Adios.